Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Uh, okay. Grid view. How do you get yourself?
I'll just get started in about a minute or two, everyone. We'll allow a few more to come on and then we'll get started.
I think you're good to go, Lindsay. I've got it started recording, so I can send it out if anybody's
Okay.
anybody comes a little later.
All right. So thanks for joining us this evening, everyone. It's stormy weather where I am right now, so I have my camera off in case it's a little glitchy on the weather going in and out. So I hope it, fingers crossed, it holds out for us and we can go through what we wanted tonight. So it'll be about an hour, and I want to talk about what's trending and changing in home renovations and building these days as of 2025. So please put your hand up if you have any questions along the way. There's a lot of information here tonight, and I'm gonna go through each slide in depth, but there's also so much more to add to each piece. So we're gonna talk about six major trends that we see happening in our industry, and we also have a bunch of spin-off seminars coming up. So if you want to learn more information about one particular topic, there's a good chance we'll be doing a seminar in the future, and you can definitely reach out to us, and we can touch base after the seminar and get you more information of when that would be, or obviously have one of our project coordinators contact you and give you more information if it pertains to your own home. So I'm going to get started now, and again, just put up your hand and jump in if you have any questions. So. Again, what's trending and what's changing in home building and renovations for 2025? All right, so just a little bit about Amstead on the front end. So 36 years in business. We are a design build company. So just like it sounds, we start from conception to completion, and that's from all your design and thoughts through to 3Ds and estimating your project right through to the build and completion, and of course, not forgetting our warranty program. So it's a lifetime warranty on anything we do with you. So it's really three components: the design, the build, and the warranty of your projects. So we have in-house design and project management throughout the entire process. 600 plus years of experience within our team, and we focus on renovations, additions, custom homes, small projects, and maintenance or repairs. So we call the small projects maintenance and repairs home care, and that could be anything from decks or windows, maybe re kitchen or a small bathroom, even a door handle if that's what you need. We're happy to help you out, whatever size your project is. We are fortunate enough to be the 2024 Ottawa and Ontario Renovator of the Year. We've won multiple times, and we're very proud of that and our team and the work we do, and we stand behind that. And we're happy to show those awards off because of all the hard work we put in. I am Lindsay Haley, the Director of Construction at Amstead. 20 plus years experience in small and large renovations and custom homes. Just finished my term as the chair of the Rental Council for GOBA, the Greater Ottawa Home Builders, and also part of the Canadian Rental Council, and that is the CHBA. So part of the local organization, the provincial, is kind of in between with what I do with OHBA and up to the national level with the Canadian Rental Council. So why trends matter in your home? It's definitely for the value of your home and to market it should you want to sell it. So we want to we want to, inspire you with thoughts of living in your home, enjoying your home, and also if one day your needs change, to be able to sell that home to the next person to enjoy. So we want to improve your functionality of it. Obviously, think about energy efficiencies. Through that, you can find some cost savings. Enhance your user experience. It has to work for you. You guys are in the homes every single day, and we want to make sure your experience is at the highest level possible. And through that, we find your personal expression. So I'll talk about some ways you can add your own personal touch that will certainly enhance any room or any space you have within your home. So, what's driving it in 2025? Lots of factors, but we're always talking about the economy these days. So, there's interest rates going up and down, of course, that tariff talk. And when we do get into interest and tariffs, there's always that word of uncertainty. So, uncertainty does cause at time a volatile market when we're talking about home renovations, but it also is an opportunity, and that opportunity will inspire creative thoughts and obviously innovation. So innovation may be in cost savings, it may be in new products, it may be in using multiple use spaces. So maybe you don't need a dining room and a homework room or a quiet room. We can make those spaces into one, and that's an innovative way to save some money and help with your renovation costs. Another item we're always talking about is the demographics. So it's aging in place and multi-generational home options. We're seeing a lot of that. I'll get into that as we get further into the presentation and some things you can do to utilize those spaces more for your family, friends, or as additional income. And of course, regulations. There's always changes with grants and incentives, so they're pushing that as hard as they can. They can be tricky. We would always suggest you hire a professional to help you with that, and you'll get the most value out of those grants and really know what to look for, and making sure you're putting in the right products so you can receive those grants once you're completing your renovation or your custom home. And of course, energy efficiency. So that's a really, really big one. We want to stretch those dollars as far as we can, and sometimes putting in those products you will see those efficiencies start to work right away as you're functioning, whether it's heat pumps or different solar options, or just efficiencies around the home, something smaller that you may not think about that we can help with. The other one is ADUs. There's lots of shifts in ADUs and how the building code is adapting to that and what they're allowing you to do, whether it's permitted or not permitted. So ADU stands for additional dwelling units within your property. So I'll get into that as we get going. Some more decisions that are helping, and these are the ones I'm going to focus on today. So these 6 headings are what we're going to dive into. So it's design and aesthetic trends, functional and lifestyle trends, accessible design, cost-efficient homes, maximizing your property through those ADUs, and of course those tariffs that we keep hearing about. So I'm going to start with the first one and work my way just through some high-level points of each one. Did I go too far there? There we go. Sorry about that. All right, so design and aesthetic trends. So we're seeing lots with colors these days. So that's a lot of personal expression with what kind of colors you're going to put in. So I'm going to bounce around a little bit here, and I'm going to start with the soft and neutral colors. We're seeing a lot of these creams, whites, grayish. Taupe is back a little bit. So any of you that did renovations in the early 2000s, we saw a little bit of those earth tones. We're seeing that again, but on a lighter scale. They're being offset by wood accents. So we are seeing a lot of cabinetry in wood. Again, that goes back a little bit into the 90s and early 2000s, but it's different wood now. We're seeing some more grained wood. Back then it was a little more oak, golden oak type things. So the woods are quite different. A lot of walnut are in. Walnut with whites or different kind of backsplashes, black tops. Just smooth surfaces is really neat to see. So that's just something that we're seeing in a lot of kitchen and millwork, cabinetry. So if that's the trend you're thinking of, it's certainly a popular one right now. open shelves, fireplaces, hardwood floors, and built-in cabinets. Something you may have always heard and done in the past, but there's just a little different way of doing it now to really grab that design feel and really make sure you're popping that room. Colors, lots of colors. So lots of different pictures on this slide. So we call this a little bit of color drenching. You can see that in the middle one with the laundry room. Lots of green tones. We're doing cabinets in green now. You'll see the backsplash. So it's real personalized. Wallpapers back in. Um, there's all kinds of different installation techniques we use for wallpaper now. So anyone on the screen that has survived wallpapering with a spouse or a partner over the years, I commend you for that. It is easier now. So we there's all kinds of different patterns, and they're not as repetitious now. So the way wallpaper is done is certainly a lot different than it was 20 years ago when we all did it. Different features that we add into a home. That top photo with the green backsplash, you'll see that it looks like a skylight there because there's natural light coming through, and that was intentionally done for their plants. So their plants are high on the shelf. It's that personal touch they wanted to have, and the natural light is helping obviously with those plants on a day-to-day basis. So really cool what they've done to that space, and they've added their own touch of color in the backsplash and a little bit of a mint green on the cabinetry. Lots of blacks and whites again. So we just put a note in here, a nod to the Roaring '20s, and blacks and whites really pop. So you'll see in this photo on the right hand side, those are a tiled black surround wall, and there's a little bit of touch of fleck golds in there and it's like a metallic as well, and that's really popular with we're seeing metallics come out in light fixtures, in faucets, mirrors are popular, some are backlit. You can really do a lot with your accent pieces, and I'm going to talk a little bit in a second about the lighting. You can just see at the top of that photo as well, there's a pretty cool light there that's going to offset that room and draw your eye to it. In the center photo, again, we're lighting very clean lines. There's whites and blacks. I think the appliances are a bit of a slate or a matte color black, and lots of whites, and it's a very bright space. And the one on the left-hand side is very similar. You can't really tell in this photo, but the where you see that framing, that's a bar top, and that's a mirror behind. So instead of a flat wall, it's wall-to-wall mirrors that really pop that room and make it feel bigger. As I was just speaking of light as artwork. So years back, we tended to just go to the hardware store and find our lighting or our faucets. There's so many different designs and options now that you can take a room and simply add a light fixture to it. So there's a lot of different ones in these few photos, and you can see very large fixtures. The one on the left is about a 24-foot ceiling, so it's really important to draw those light fixtures and make that room fuller. Where the one just to the left of that, it has a lot of wood grains in it. So there's some walnuts and maybe some light oak on that one just above the fixture. So you're pulling the woods from the floor and adding it into your light fixture, and you can see it in the mirror as well. Um, and then the other ones, the one on the far right is more of a moody look and dark wallpaper. Again, that light fixture is really popping coming out of that coffered ceiling, and all kinds of warm colors on their chairs and then their floor underneath there. So lots of different ideas, lots of personality in all these photos, and it really suits which way the homeowner wanted to go with these trends for the design. Some outdoor features, lots to do with windows now, so you can mix and match. In years past, we only could do white on the inside on windows. Now you can do all kinds of different colors. They've changed the way they do their painting systems. So when you're touching the insides of the windows, they're more durable. And you see the blacks in one of these photos and some whites. So they've done both here, and that really defines the room. The one on the left is showing a lot of wood grains, so that is a cedar with white side lights on the front entrance door, but then they had a black slab with black windows above and below. It's really just popping those colors and putting a light right beside a dark just really gives that stylish look to it. And then yeah, again, you add some wood in there, and it really ties the whole space together. So just some ideas on some exterior options. Any questions on that one? No, all good. All right. I'm going to move into functional lifestyle trends. So, as much as important as aesthetics, we want to make sure the spaces are working for you and how you live your day-to-day life with your family and what the needs are. So, we're seeing a lot of changes with the kitchens, especially. Um, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, everything was closed in, and then 10 years ago, we opened everything and got rid of all the walls. It's going halfway in between now. We're seeing divisions of spaces, but still larger kitchens with more casual space. There's more space to have extended family, to have those one-off stop-ins where you're just casually dining with someone as opposed to a formal area. Um, we're still seeing dining rooms important. They kind of went away about 10 years ago, and they're finding their way back in a little bit now. They can be used as multi-use spaces. Again, I talked at the beginning about maybe a homework space or a quiet reading space, but it is still designated as a dining room. Sometimes we put wall cabinets in that dining room, and it could be by day a small home office, and at night a formal dining room. Gyms, craft nooks, and custom closets are all something that we're seeing more and more of as people retire or work from home. They have different hobbies they want to do at their house now, and they just need those little spaces to make sure that they can have a wellness center. So, a wellness center to you might be a workout area, a set of weights. It might be a yoga mat. It might be a small studio with some a speaker system built into it for music or whatever you want to do to relax. And then of course crafts, we're seeing all kinds of craft nooks. That's very personalized with pull-out cabinetry, built-ins, things like that, and obviously custom closets for any of your. You can see on the bottom there that those pinkish cabinets, that's a custom walk-in closet, and the middle has a jewelry area, and the right-hand side there has a small desk for getting ready in the morning, where the rest is all clothes and wardrobes. More multi-use spaces. We talked a little bit about working from home and using it also as a fitness area. The one photo on the right is a home office, also is a secondary spot for maybe someone stopping by, family member for the weekend, just a reading couch. It could be a day bed. Again, it's a multi-use area. These used to be mostly what we called a spare bedroom, and now people are finding ways to use it differently. So you can take a small space and find so many different functions for it nowadays, and it's just coming up with a design that works for you. Natural light for people and plants. So I've already talked about the photo on the right hand side. You can see the light and that little plant just crawling right up to all the sun it gets every day. Where on the left, lots of natural light coming in through that front bay window. Behind that TV is actually, that's a real moss wall. So that was imported, and I never remember the country it came from, but it takes very, very little maintenance, and they do a small mist spray on it. I think it's like once a month, and it is that is real, and it's fantastic, and it fits on that really, really light wall. And boy, is that ever an accent piece to look at when you're in that room. It's a beautiful room, and they have that moss wall. It's just fantastic to see, and our clients love that look. So lots of different ideas here. Jumping back to the one on the right, you can see the appliances, the way they've done the fixtures on the appliances to pop out, the way they're doing their accents, whether it's above the fridge there or some of their utensils in that kitchen, but really, really cool ideas with the way they've finished off the decor as well as their backsplash. Tubs. So there was always a fear 5 or 6 years ago of what if I take out my tub and I sell my house? that is okay, because if you don't, there's a good chance that someone might buy your house and take out your tub. So there's lots of walk-in options now. I'll talk about accessibility in a minute, but we add in benches. We have the zero clearance, so it's accessible to go in and out of your shower. Different styles of grab bars now, where they don't stand out as a grab bar per se, but tubs are trending out. Of course, anyone that likes a bath in the evening or in the morning, you can always have a tub. We have lots of different options, whether it's your traditional alcove or a freestanding tub. But don't be afraid to remove that tub and put in a beautiful shower if that's your best use for that space. Home automation, AI is driving this, as we all know, and we're seeing so much different options now, whether it be security systems, camera systems, motion detectors. If you're outside of city limits and you have a sump pump or the need for a sump pump, um, we're seeing it running appliances, lighting systems, like wine cellars, whatever it might be. Home automation is really, really huge now, and 99% of it can be run off of your smartphone. So the way we're connecting these systems now is pretty incredible. We have one home we just completed, and with one touch on his phone, he can shut off all the water to the home. So just think, if you're traveling in the winter or away for extended periods of time, what that might mean. So really, really cool technology there. Um, and it also monitors your energy. So you can look into that and make sure when you're away from the home, you're accurately adjusting it. And again, all through your smartphone. Outdoor spaces, lots of people are going outdoors as much as they can. We learned that through COVID. When we couldn't go too far from our house, we got outside as much as we could. So lots of outdoor spaces, whether that's a sunroom. On the left, you'll see a little hot tub and sitting area, or a simple pergola, just to get out and enjoy your company and make sure you're getting outside your home, but still using your property for as much value as you can. So lots of different ideas with outdoor spacing. Accessibility. So I'm moving on to the third one. So accessibility has come a long way over the last few years. Make sure when you're thinking about an accessibility item within your home, it's called the Adaptive Home Program. We have certified staff that have been trained in the Adaptive Home Program, so please ask those questions. We have lots of great ideas, and we can design, and fit it into your home to make sure it's suiting your needs, and it's being done appropriately and safely, to make sure we're maximizing what you need. So I'm going to go through some ideas here. I won't go through this slide in depth, but we're just showing sometimes the smallest thing makes the biggest impact. So 94% of people are upgrading for accessibility with grab bars. So again, it's a simple feature. It has to be done right. They're doing it so much nicer now, opposed to having this big grab bar that, is loose on the wall after a few years. Higher toilets, we call them comfort height. Again, those curbless showers that you can enter and exit without stepping up or having anything in your way, a trip hazard. Wider doorways, ramps, non-slip floors, and you can see the list goes on and on and on, right down to walk-in tubs and lowering kitchen cabinets for easier use. So that's the percentage that the industry is putting out for accessibility. Again, grab bars, one of the least expensive items and the most popular. Ramps on the outside. Obviously, you can see the photo on the left. It does nothing to take away that curb appeal. It's beautiful. There's a hardscape ramp as well as steps. So you have lots of different greenery around it to really tie it together, but beautiful job there. And we don't think too often about what a porch roof would do for accessibility, because you would see a step there. It keeps the rain and it keeps the snow and it keeps the ice away from that entrance. So when you're going in and out at night or on bad weather days, that's covered. So it's going to be a lot safer for you. One of the most dangerous things in a home is a set of stairs. Although these stairs are beautiful in design, anything with an open back is extremely dangerous. So if you're looking for an aesthetic look, they are beautiful. But if you're looking for accessible and making sure it's safe. Be cautious of those open treads. Those open backs are what they look like. They're a potential tripping hazard. Small kids, pets, any devices you might have, like if you have a walking device or anything to help you up the stairs, you have to be really careful of those open risers. One thing that you can do with your stairs is just put some contrasting colors. So you can see the risers are white and the treads are a darker color. It's just visibility for you. The other thing you can do is add carpet treads. So they're available everywhere now. They have great methods of making sure they're secure and they're non-slip edges. If you're not sure on carpet tile, the safest thing you can always do in your stairs is to add carpet. Top to bottom, it does take some wear and tear. It's easy to switch out after X amount of years of use, but that is your still safest way to protect yourself on a set of stairs is carpet. The one on the left, we're just showing they had a spiral staircase, and we put up obviously a wall there, and then a safety rail, and then it's a straight staircase going down to the basement. And we use different colors to contrast those stairs. Floor transitions, tripping hazards, one of the biggest. So all we're showing here is that we have tile and hardwood incorporated in those two photos on the left and in the middle. And there's no transition, there's no step, there's no threshold. It is straight through the exact same level. The one on the right is a fireplace hearth, and you can see it is flush with the floor. So usually those corners are tripping hazards. So we want to remove as much as we can. We don't want tripping within the home, and usually it causes further damage. You trip and then you end up hitting something else in the space. So again, it's that zero transition that's really, really important. Wider doorways. Yes, you get a 36-inch door. One thing that we're seeing now is the hinges can, as you open the door, you still have that 2 inches where the slab is in the way. We have different hinges now. So if this is required, when you open that door, it actually offsets and sits back from the opening to give you that extra few inches that you may require if you need that accessibility. We're also showing our zero threshold here. So not only on the hardwood floor and the tile, but on the doorway, the sill of the door is a zero entrance. So it doesn't have that curb that you're going to trip on. And lastly, levers replace knobs. So it is very hard sometimes to turn a knob. As you get older, it's hard on your hands. And to have a lever, it's a much easier way to open and close your door. Elevators are an option now. We used to see these obviously in more commercial style buildings. Here's two examples that we've done. One is hidden away behind a door. It just looks like a normal interior door. And the other one is showcased. It's a cylinder shape, and this one's great. These clients do not require this now. They're looking ahead to age in place, so they put it in as a preventative measure so they can stay in their home. So really cool design there. It's just up to the second floor, and the staircase is actually right beside it. But a fun project to do, and it plans for the future. Grab bars, as we talked about. So just a couple of shots here showing that some shampoo or soap in that one photo on the left. That is a grab bar, and it's a multi-use. You can store your toiletries on it as you wish. And then the one on the right, it'll just show a hinge on that glass. So not only is that a zero clearance, you can open it up quite a bit larger. And there's a grab bar in the shower. There's a comfort height toilet, and you can see there's a roll under vanity. So if you need that extra accessibility at the vanity, you can roll under that sink. So lots of different options there for accessibility in that washroom. Wider spaces are more popular than ever. Traditionally, we'd see 36 to 38 inches between a kitchen island and the wall cabinets. You can go 42, you can go 48, whatever your room allows. If you need a wider space, we're happy to accommodate that. We can set the switches and plugs at different heights if that's something that helps out, and easy to read or smart thermostats. So again, it's just instead of seeing something at a level or a height that doesn't work for you, we can set that up, and that's all part of the design stage. We want to make sure in the front end we're designing to your needs, so then when we get to construction, we can produce exactly what you're looking for. So moving on to energy efficient homes. Lots of considerations. Obviously, your comfort, environmental factors, so not replacing something over and over again, cost benefits, and rebate programs. Insulation is always a big one. Everyone pretty much knows that if you improve the insulation or the R value in your home, it's certainly more energy efficient. So there's lots of different products out there now, and there's lots of different areas to consider and what products are being used. So we're just showing an example here of spray foam in your basement headers, and this is going to protect the main level on the perimeter, so that envelope. Opposed to just having some bad insulation in there, it's really going to make that main level much, much warmer and more comfortable for you. The cost of spray foam has come down considerably since it was introduced years ago, so it's much more efficient to use, and it's going to take you much, much farther as far as your energy savings. Different materials that you're going to use. So the durability of the products. So we're talking about decking, roofing, flooring, and countertops. If you're putting down a wood deck, it might save you cost during this renovation, but again, depending on where you are, how much sun and UV it takes during the year, or snow loads, you could be replacing it in a shorter amount of time. So think about the products that you're using in your home and what the durability of each product is. Roofing, there's lots of options. Obviously traditional, we talk about shingles, but there's lots of great aluminum options now, steel options that we didn't have in the past. And again, it's going to last 2 or 3 times as long as something that we've traditionally used. Flooring, the same. There's a lot of waterproof flooring that we're seeing now. Flexibility in flooring depending on what you're using it for. High traffic, pets, the list goes on and on. So we want to really ask those questions when we're considering what flooring we're putting in your home. And countertops. High use all the time, wet all the time, cutting on it, different products, wine, different types of vegetables that could, stain your countertop. We want to put in the right product that you're not going to have to replace in a few years. High performance windows, always something to consider. Everyone wants lots of glass, lots of window space, but we want to think about what that's doing. Be cautious. Windows also provide lots of savings when they allow sun in. So when that sun's coming in the winter and heating the space, that's going to help with your energy efficiency. So we want to talk about what side of the home the windows are on, where the sun comes in the morning, where it goes down at night, what UV filters and what we want to put on those windows as far as low E and things like that to make sure that we're maximizing every side of your home. So those are lots of considerations that people don't always think about when going through their window package. And we're happy to do that and walk you through that. Heat pumps, a great way for an energy efficient system. It's very simple. It's going to take the cold air in your home in the winter and push it out while it draws the heat from outside, even though it is the winter, and vice versa in the summer. The heat's going to get pumped out of your house. So it's a great way to save energy, to use those heat pumps. Solar energy, you're just using the environment to help heat or cool your home. We're seeing lots of EV charging stations on your new solar cars. So they're more effective to put in than they were years ago. And lots more people have electric or hybrid cars that are requiring that. And water conservation. I'll use the example of a toilet. Years ago, it would always flush at 13 liters. People were nervous to go to a 6-liter flush. Well, it's flushing as good as it ever has, and we're using half of the water. So there's lots of new innovative ways of upgrading to definitely make your home more energy efficient and consume less. Net zero ready homes, we're seeing that. We're just finishing one now, and essentially you're producing as much energy in the home as you're using in the home. So those are really cool for us to do. We get excited about those. They're innovative. They're out of the box thinking, and they're not traditional. So they pay off every day that goes by, and there's lots of thought to put in those in the design stage early on. And a passive design, making sure your home is as tight as possible to use the least amount of energy possible when you're functioning day to day in the home. So lots of different ways. These ideas come with pros and cons. We want to make sure that what we're putting in your home, you're going to get back out of. And the sky's the limit with some of these ideas. So we don't always use every single idea that's out in the market for good reasons. But again, we want to educate you on what's important and what we see as the biggest impact for your home in the design stage. We will make sure we get this scanned to you if you can't do it while I'm on this screen. It's the Ontario Home Renovation Savings Program. I'm not going to go into each one here. Please make sure you scan this and use it if you are doing anything here. Again, these are just high level items on their list, but there are some grants out there within this program. They've changed it a little bit so you don't have to pay for the assessment multiple times, but please scan this QR code or reach out to Amanda. She would love to get this over to you, and make sure you're reading it and take advantage of it. If you have any questions, reach out to us and we can help you with this program. It's a great program, and there's many out there, but this one is pretty straightforward. So maximizing your property, again, just the acronym ADUs, so additional dwelling units. For obvious reasons, we are having a housing crisis in Ontario, so we want to take your property and maximize it to the fullest potential. Depending if you want to use it for aging in place, multi-generational, or just an income property. So there's lots of ways we can use an ADU, and that is certainly a trending what we're seeing as big these days as far as ADUs and how people are utilizing the full extent of their property to move elderly family members in, or their children are staying and having their own spaces. Up to 3 units, and I'm not going to talk about every detail of this because it's evolving as we go, but you can share different utilities within the unit. They're built entirely on the existing property. Sometimes we do coach houses, sometimes we do it within the home. We've had separate units. This one you're looking at in this photo is 3 separate dwellings. They all have separate entrances. The parents live on the main floor, the grandparents live on the middle floor, and the children live in the upper floor. So that's why they've separated this. It's a fantastic layout. Everyone has a ton of space, and they're still able to get together and have all their functions as needed under one property. So there's lots of different options how we can do your ADUs, and it's really just to understand what fits your lifestyle. For renovation or an addition, we can do it. So we can add a unit, we can add a separate front door. Within the unit, we can even do a separate kitchen now and a separate bathroom facility. You can separate the laundry rooms, but you can also have shared areas. So you can now have an entrance within the home where you can have common spaces or separate as needed. So it's really up to you and what works within your lifestyle and what your relationship is with the person you're going to have that shared unit with. Sometimes family members want to have totally separate areas. Other times they want to share certain functions. Again, it's all up to your lifestyle, and we can help you understand what that looks like and how to lay your home out to best adapt it. Basement units are really big. So you might have that basement space you're not using or you used to use when the kids were at home that's no longer of tremendous use. This is a basement that we've done. It does not look like a basement. We used an entrance door. It's a walkout, obviously. Lots of natural light here. There's a private entrance, and this is a fantastic use for an ADU. depending on what you're doing with your basement these days. There's grant programs out there, and different incentives to utilize your unused spaces. So this one really turned out beautifully. Lots of room. It's arguably the same size as the main floor, so you have two homes in one. Um, New to Ottawa, you can have additional units within the principal building. Okay, and we're just saying its flexibility provides great options for income properties or multi-generational homes. So this is similar to the first one I showed you, three separate units, and and whatever your intended use is, you certainly can use it for family members or bringing in that additional income to offset any costs. Monthly living costs or utilities or things like that. So it's just a way to maximize everything you have within your property. Coach houses. So coach houses are a little bit different. There's share services within the dwelling. So this depends on what municipality you're in, sometimes what province you're in. And I'll give you an example. Out in BC, they have to have separate utilities. They cannot use the shared ones, but here in Ottawa and Ontario, we can. So sometimes it's conflicting on what that information looks like. Just make sure you're talking within the right municipality. Can be combined. So sometimes you can use a garage, generally located in the rear of the yard, and sometimes there's a limitation on where you're putting it and what windows you're adding in, whether you can use a shared driveway or not. Commonly in Ottawa, you can use a shared driveway. You can use the shared entrance, walkway, things like that. But again, it's really, really important to use your design team and get that information on the front end so we can maximize that space for a coach house for you. Just some more requirements on that coach house, what the size limits are, what the yard space might look like. The height of the building is very, very important. And the restrictions can be 50% of the yard if combined with an accessory building. So again, it might go to that existing garage that you want to convert. You can build something additionally in the backyard, but we just want to make sure the city of Ottawa has opened up lots of leniency to these programs, and we haven't found too much trouble for what we're applying for now. So we just want to make sure we're following these guidelines and utilizing the space properly. Finance options. So not only are we looking at different IDUs, but a really big trend right now is utilizing those available resources. So there's a secondary suite loan program available right now. Sometimes you can refinance mortgages for secondary suites, and Better Homes Ottawa has a low interest loan. So they all have different components and different restrictions to them. So again, if you want more information on this, check these websites out. We can also give you more information, and it's really, really important that when you start your design or your thought of how to maximize your property, to reach out to one of us and we can walk you through these. They're critical to make sure we hit the right steps so we can provide those options to you. We're also happy to talk to any of your banking institutions. Sometimes that can be quite a challenge when you don't do this day to day. So many times we've sat down with your bank and just laid out the program, and it certainly goes a lot smoother. So please use us for those resources. In-law suites. In-law suites are really, really important. So what we're showing here in this photo that's a separate entrance to the right-hand side with a separate kitchen, but the entrance is contained within the home. So you have just one entrance on the front of the home, where the main home is obviously when you walk in, and then you walk down this little corridor to a separate suite. So it allows for that semi-independent space. It might be an elderly parent, maybe a dependent child down the road, but it's contained within the home. They have their own space. You can help with care if you have to, But if they don't require it, you can also separate the two homes and live in individual spaces. So really, really neat way of using your home without extending the envelope, putting an addition on. Again, it's all contained in that one original envelope of the home. The last one I want to talk about is tariffs. So that's ever evolving. We at times think it's calming down and then it ramps back up again unexpectedly. So that creates uncertainty. Um, we are part of the CHBA, so that's the Canadian Home Builders Association. I think it's really important to note that in Ottawa, we have lots of representatives. We are obviously close to the government in Ottawa, and we work constantly lobbying for construction exclusions. So that's lots of different elements. It could be materials, it could be how those tariffs are being distributed. So that's a constant battle, and I think we do pretty well at it as best we can. And it's really important to understand that when we support local products, Canadian products, whatever the tariffs come in, it can always be offset. So we hear 10, 20, 30, 40% tariffs. Um, just a reminder, it is a tariff on the specific products that have tariffs on them. So we have found over the last 6, 7 months that so many alternatives we can provide to you that absolutely reduce or eliminate that tariff. We had one client that it was quite a large project we were doing, and I think one product had a tariff on it. And we were able to find an alternative within Canada that they ended up liking much, much more. And obviously, it took that whole tariff right off the table. So, really, really important to have your design team working for you and to really understand and give you those options. So far, so good with tariffs. I'm just speaking from our industry. Obviously, it's affecting many, many industries, but we do have alternatives in the home renovation industry in Canada, and our Canadian partners are producing fantastic products that we can use locally. So we're doing things at Imstead. So we're talking to our suppliers all the time. We're asking what they're doing to bring in more Canadian products, produce their own products, and they're answering that call. That helps us build relationships and really find those options for you as a client. Again, the government's offsetting it. CHBA is really pushing hard. There's rebate programs. And we're really, really making sure that when something pops up, we're ready to go before it's an issue for you. So, so far, so good on the tariffs. Again, I'm speaking from our industry, and I'd like to know that the further we educate ourselves, the better we'll do. So, if you have any questions on that, please let me know. Partnering with a professional. So as part of the CHBA, there's a program called Renomark. Renomark's really, really important. If you see this logo on anyone you work with, whether it's us or someone else, it's simply put, it's a vetting program. So it's a national program that the CHBA runs, and we are vetted for many, many different levels and tiers of how we operate our company, whether it be the extension of our warranties, our contracts, what we're providing as far as quality, who we're working with, and just how we conduct day to day. So please check out that Renomark logo. You can go to the CHBA website. You can also go to the Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association website to check out what that criteria looks like. But we just put some notes here. It's experience in what you're building, support permits, compliance applications, it's reference checks. Obviously, it's a portfolio of who we are, and we make sure that when we build something for you, we want you to be a client for life. So we are going to be there long after the last coat of paint goes on your walls. So check out that logo, and again, if you have any questions, let us know. Just some fun photos to wrap up. We always like to throw these in. These are real things we've come across along the way, so we definitely made sure we addressed these issues. Some of them, I'll speak to the photo on the right here. you can see the aluminum foil that has attached this hot water venting system. Not quite to code. So we're happy to move that and get it out of the home and bring it up to code. The one on the left is all the joints and the fittings, very, very sloppy and not well put together. So we do run across these, unfortunately, and we make sure that we're removing it and putting in new items that are safe. Lots of things in the past where we see people cutting floor joists. That was very, very common. This is a home we did down in Westboro, and when it was all put back together, they were happy to know that none of the floor joists were cut, none of the plumbing had to go through the floor joists, and this is in a kitchen with a small powder room off the side of it. So something we see very, very commonly, unfortunately. This one's just for fun. All I'm saying is that the next time I'll talk to the contractor about installing double sinks. So definitely a great use of space, but I'm not sure every morning that you and your partner would want to get ready that way. So one last slide I have, and it's hard to see, and it's just talking about what's important when hiring the right company. Um, you have to protect yourself. You want to make sure you're educated and informed and hiring the right people. So the internet is great, but there's lots of AI out there now. Word of mouth still is the best way. We want to always ask for your referral in anything we do. Well, we also want you to get information from our past clients. So we're happy to provide that to you. Make sure again, you're protecting yourself, have it in writing, keep it simple, understand what you're asking for, ask lots of questions, and be prepared. If you do work for us, we're going to ask you lots of questions because it goes both ways. We want to make sure we're understanding exactly what the best use of your home is. And that's all I have for this evening. Amanda, I think I got it done within 9 minutes early. So I apologize if that was a lot of information in a short period of time, everyone. We do have a few minutes if we want to ask any questions. If not, absolutely reach out to us for anything you might have that we can share after the fact. So if you want to unmute and ask questions, please go ahead. We also have Becky here from Amstead. She is a project coordinator, so she's sitting in and she'd be happy to answer questions or come see you in your home if it's easier to do so. And Amanda, part of our marketing team. So I'll open the floor now to anyone else. I think that means we hit all the points, girls.
Yeah, you touched on it a little bit, Lindsay. We do have two other seminars, one on ADUs, and that's a full hour. So I know you ran through that part quickly. So if anybody's interested, the ADU one goes to in much deeper, as well as the adaptive home. That's usually put on by Chris, who's an adaptive designer at Amstead, and that as well goes into um, an hour as well. So a lot more information if you're interested.
Thank you for your comments in the chats. Yeah, we look forward to hearing from all of you. And if it's just a simple question, we're happy to answer that. Anything we can do to add value to your home, we'd be happy to help. Oh, we have a question. Go ahead.
Hi. So I think this might be the second presentation. My husband and I had a meeting here that unfortunately we had to cancel. I just want to let you know that we're still looking to make modifications. We just are not sure of the date. So that's why we keep on attending all these presentations to get ideas and information for when the time comes.
Okay, well we can grab all your information. I'm sure Amanda has it already.
Yes.
And we can reach out and whether it's a month from now or whenever, we're happy to come and see you.
Yeah, it's gonna this at, at this rate is probably most likely gonna be at least next year. unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's okay. I will remind you, depending what you want to have done, it does take time and design to make sure we're putting all the pieces together. So um, we can help you with that. And I think the best thing to do is just to have a conversation with you right now, so we can walk you through what the design stage looks like. Um, it might be something we can slowly work on now to prepare you for 1 year from now.
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Yes, we should do that.
Yeah,
At least have an
and
idea
again,
of how much. Yeah.
we might find out. We'll touch base in a few months, but ironically, if it takes 6 or 7 months to prepare, depending on what you need, then we might be right at the right time.
Okay.
All right, we will reach out to you. Thank you very much for speaking up.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that is it. So the
Yeah.
storm held off, and yeah, we got through it.
Yeah. And as well, I recorded the session, so I'll be sending that out. I can be live tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Amanda. Thanks, Becky, and thank you for the remaining people.
Yeah. All right.
Have a good
Great.
night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.